Hi, I'm Louis. I'm going to show you how to set up your Forgotten Island campaign. So this is a homebrew rule set to play a narrative campaign with the rules of the 9th Age fantasy battles. You'll find all the information about that in the description. And how does it work? It's pretty easy. You just gather your friends online over some vocal chat, like Discord, for example, and then you play together on this website that I have on the screen right now, Roll20.net, which will host your campaign map. And when on this campaign map you have confrontations between your armies, well, you just pause Roll20, get your miniatures out, play the game with the normal 9th Age rules, and when it's done, you come back to the game, the campaign map with the results of the game. That's simple. Before we dive in, I just want to make two quick mentions. The first one is that about the whole concept of the rule set, which is that you don't need a game master. Yes, we will set up today the game together to make it playable by everybody, but once that's done, you don't need to prepare, organize, or do stuff as a game master would. You're just a player as anybody else. That's the whole idea, the whole point of it. Second thing is, of course, we're going to use Roll20. It's a very fantastic website. It's free, and it's mainly used for RPG games such as Dungeons and Dragons. But it's very useful, and you can use it for other things, just like what we're going to do today. So let's dive in. Of course, the first thing is you have to create an account. That's free, and I'll let you do that by yourself. And once that's done, you should arrive on this page, and just have to create a first game. Great. So let's just give it a name, and we'll also set up this. Roll20 offers a lot of fantastic stuff, automatic character sheets, game systems and stuff. It's useful, but not for us. So let's just turn that off and make it to none. It will make for less clutter in the game. Let's create. All right, that's the landing page before launching the campaign. You can put an image here to make it a bit more atmospheric if you want. That's optional. And here you have the players. Of course, none for now, but to invite them is quite simple. Just click on invite, and you either send them an email or you can send them this link and they will arrive on the page and be able to join. Now, we don't need all of these settings for now, so let's just launch the game and start editing the campaign right away. Roll20 is going to load and it's going to show up the whole interface. We're going to go over it together and see how it works, and then we'll go into actually setting up the campaign. So first thing is on the left here, you have a bunch of tools that are nice, but the only one we actually use is going to be the dice. You just click here on the dice. You have a lot of them you can roll. Just let's click on 3d6. Here, the results appear in the right panel, in the right panel in the chat. You have the results here. It's also a chat, so if you want to type a message, you can. Great. So that's the left panel. On the right, you have, of course, the chat we just saw, and here you have multiple sections. The first one is going to be quite useful as well. We'll see that later. It's the library, where all the images you upload are going to be. And then you have the settings. Let's go into it right away. For me, this thing here that we have, my avatar, is a bit too big. And I'm alone right now, but when there's 7 players here, it's going to take a lot of space on the screen. So let's just free that up. I'm going to go into audio and video display, and here, player video avatar size, just names only. Much smaller, much better. And while we're there, we can add on a a cool option. It's optional, but it's nice. Enable 3D dice. Let's just tick that in. And now when I roll some dice, ta-da, it's on the table. That looks way better. And of course, you still have in the chat the results of the dice. Great, so we saw the left panel, the right panel. Let's check the most important part, the middle. So here we are on a grid where we have gonna have an image in the background and we can move tokens over. Let's just unzoom so we can see what I mean a little bit more. Here we have the square that we can play on with a grid. What we want is to create an image in the background. So we're gonna have the campaign map and some documents displayed on it. And on top we have the grid with all the tokens of the armies, the points of interest and everything that we can move around. First of all, you see it's square grids, so we need to change that. We're going to go into this little symbol here, and there we have the page we're on, and here we have the little setting. Bunch of settings. Let's just focus on the grid for now. In the grid, we can just say, hey, I want X grid, save. Great. Now we can start with the grid. And then Roll20 works in layers. As I said, we're going to have the one in the background and the one on the top. The one in the background is accessible if you go at the bottom left here. You see there's a little button saying tokens, because here we're on the tokens layer. If we click on it, we can choose which layer we want to be in. Let's be in the map layer. And now in the map layer, we're in the background. Great. So now what I want is to add my campaign map in this background. So I'm going to just open my campaign folder, the one that you downloaded with the links that are available in the description. Here, my campaign map, and let's say I want to use my 4-player campaign map. I just take it and drop it, and it's going to upload. It's quite a big file, so it might take a bit. Great, it's finished. So now the Roll20 offers to fit it to the page. That's great. Let's do that. Then adjust the page size and all this. That's not really necessary. Great. So now we have the image in the background. It's still a bit blurry, but this is going to load. Don't worry. One interesting thing is that in the right panel here, if I go in Art Library, and then I go to My Library, you will see that the player map is displayed, because all of the image we're going to upload are going to show up here. That's quite useful. Now, what we want to do is to make the map we have fit with the Roll20 grid. This way, when we move tokens, it's going to fit with the map. If I just zoom in a little bit to show you, here you can see in black there's the grid that was already on the map, and in white there is the grid of Roll20. What we want is the both of them to match. For this, it's quite easy. I'm just going to unzoom it again. Great. And when I select the map, you see there's this blue frame around it. That means I can change it. What I recommend is you press on the Alt key on your keyboard, and this way you can resize your image however you want. So I'm just going to resize it so the hex just fit. Here seems great. Great. Let's just zoom in to make sure. Yeah. Yeah, seems like a good fit. Black on white. Seems good. All right. Now what we want is to add multiple things to this background as well. The great thing is to have the quick guide here on the left, so you can have all of the information of the rules just handy next to the map. And on the right, we can have a little tracker that helps follow who's the first player and where the cards are going to be played. So for that, we need to extend here to the left and probably remove a bit of that, because this is too tall. Let's just count how many square we have too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We should remove 6 square. So we're just going to go back to the settings of the page here. And here in our page, the settings. So we said we wanted to remove 6 cells. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we wanted to make it wider. So let's just add in, yeah, let's be liberal here. 40 should do. Great. All right. So our page is smaller, here you can see, and it's quite wider. So we can move that now, still holding the Alt key, so it fits right in. I wouldn't say, let's do this. We can once again zoom in to see if the grid is matching. It's not exactly. Let's move it. Once again, holding the Alt key. Almost. This is a bit fiddly, but you only have to do it once. All right, great, good enough. Then we want to add, as I said, the document here. So I'm just going to go back to my folder here, go to the quick guide, and I'll just upload that the same way into Roll20. All right, here it is. It's a bit blurry still, but it's going to load. All right, so we can just put it right there. Great. Once again, holding the Alt key right there. I have to move my campaign map again. That's fine. I'll just move it a little bit, and here, holding the Alt key once again. Great, it's on. Let's do the same for the tracker here on the right. I'll just take the tracker, slide it here. All right, here it is. I'm just going to put it in the right place here, holding the Alt key once again. Great, now we have it. All right, that's starting to look like something. So there's only 2 problems. First of all, there's this white weird background color that we want to change. Maybe make it black so it fits with the rest of the background, and it's a bit less annoying to see. And also, so the grid is going over the guide here. That's not very nice. Not very readable. And anyway, we don't want this grid anymore because we do have the black one already printed on the map. And since we made it fit, we don't need the white one anymore. So let's just go here in the back, in the settings again, here. So in the settings, we want to do multiple things. First, in the background, we said we wanted to make it black. So let's change that. All right. And then we went to the grid and we want it to disappear. So I'm just going to go into grid. Here there's opacity and turn it to 0. Nice. So now it's black and there's nothing over on top of it. Well, we just finished setting it up the background. That's great. Let's go into the token layer. So here, bottom left, map. I'm going to go to token layer. All right. Now, what we want to do is create the tokens for the for the campaign. So it's going to be the outposts, the armies, the hotspot, everything. What we can do is just upload here, and it's going to offer here a zone where we can put it all. So I'm just going to go into tokens, take it all of them, and just drop them up there. This way they will be added as assets here in the, on the right, as you can see, and I'm going to be able to use them for the entire duration of the campaign. All right, now it's all loaded up. Let's just put them on the thing, on the map. So for example, let's start with the red outpost here. I'm just going to take it and slide it up there. Great, it's on the map. And now I can move it. And as you can see, let's zoom in. When I move it, it just snaps to the grid since we just made it fit. So now it goes in all the right tiles. I just put it in the middle here, snap. Great. So there's multiple things about tokens. First of all, when you click on it, as you can see, there's 3 little bubbles here. It's very useful if you want to take notes. For example, let's just say that's how many points I have, or that's how many pieces, gold pieces, it's going to generate each turn. I can just write it down, and so it's written, and I have a good little remembrance for it. Now the other thing you can see is here the little cog. Let's see the settings for this token. We open the token setting page, and there's mainly three things we want to focus on. The first, the little bubbles, as you can see here, are the bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, and they're just filled. We can fill them up here as well if we want. The second thing here is the name. I recommend you tick this nameplate thing. Don't even have to put anything in it, but if you do, you can, for example, call it my town and save the changes, and now it's going to show up here at the bottom, which is great if, for example, you want to name your armies, name your colony, your outposts, and just want to have it a bit more special and personalized. Just let's tick it if we want to change it later. And then, very important, is the control by. This will allow people to use, move, delete, control the tokens in general. What I recommend is that you make it easy and you just click here and select all players and save the changes. That's going to be for all your tokens. Yes, you can, if you want, give a specific permission to each token and go into here and choose specifically, the player that will control this color. Honestly, it's a lot of complications for not much. This is fine to give permission to everybody. And let's do that, for example, to here. The same with the army. So this is the red army. I'm going to just click here, click control by all players, check the nameplates, save changes, and now every player can do what I'm just doing here. One good thing to note is that when you select a token, you can move it just using the arrow keys here. Up, down, left, right. All right, now we just made the tokens. Great, and we can do the same for everything. Put the blue one, put the green one. I think you get the idea. And then we need to check up the hotspots, the point of interest. So I'm just going to drop it here. And once again, the same is I can just click on that, click on settings, and put control by all players. This way, when a player arrives on it, he can take it, return it, destroy it, and everything. Once again, the idea is that you don't need a game master. Everybody can play the game. Save changes. And now, as you may know, there needs to be a lot of points of interest on this map. Well, you can just select it, Control C, Control V to paste it here. Great. And since we edited the permission on this one, This one we just pasted. Let's just check. Great. It kept the permission. This way we can only create one good token and then paste, 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 paste. You get the idea. And this way you can make the whole campaign map quite quickly. All right. I'm just going to show you here in a minute. I can put like a lot of these things up. So it may seem like putting the hotspot is going to take a lot of time, but actually with just Control V, here we are. Almost all of them are already on the map. Great. And I think you get the idea. It's going to work with all of the tokens you have here. You just have to drop them here. And once again, since we're on the token layer here, we cannot change the background layer, but that's on purpose. That's great. This way, if I see selected, it won't destroy the great setup we just made. Now the final touch is the deck, because we have some tiles, some decks, sorry, some cards we can play. We're gonna go into here, collection, and we have a bunch of decks here. Some are already made. Let's just create a new one. It appears here. I just click, and I'm gonna rename it. It's gonna be history cards. So let's call it history cards deck. Simply. So the deck is shown to players. We don't need two tips. Everybody can draw cards, and not infinite. We can't choose specific cards. There's a discard pile. For example, we can show the front. There's no remove card. We can remove that. The cards are playing face up. They don't need to snap to the grid, and they don't have to be token or bubbles or anything. And the size, well, let's not change it for now. And then on the other hands, players will see the number of cards they have, but don't see the cards they actually have, the front of the cards. And the same for even for the game master. So you can stay a game master and not cheats, because you won't see the hands of your opponents. Great. In the cards, we can create them, but first let's create the backing. For that, I'm just gonna choose in my settings, history cards, here, cat back. Great. Now we have the card back. Let's create the cards now. We do multiple, and then we can just drop all of the images here. Let's go back to our file. I'm going to go into history cards. Here, select them all. Be careful to not create the one with the card back, of course, and then just drop them up there. When they're all uploaded, all you have to do is create. And Roll20 will now create a single card using the front and the back we just gave him. It may take a little while, but it's automatic, so it's worth the wait. All right, they finished processing the cards, and now you can see they all created. That's great. Let's just save the changes, and here's the history card. Now let's just click show, so it appears here on the table. Great. It's a bit small. Let's go into settings, personalization and display. Then we can go a bit lower, deck size. Let's make it, great, that's better. All right, we just set up everything. We have the background with the map and the helpers and the quick guide, sorry. We have all of the tokens here on the token layer, and now we have the cards, which means we can actually click here. You see the little icon on the top right with the 3 lines. This will hide the right panel. Oh, so much more space. That's great. And now if we want to draw a card, we just click on it. Oh, of course, we need to shuffle first. Click on it, and here it is. And we can just put it here. All right, it's a bit small. Let's just change that up. Here, we go back to the deck, history cards, and let's just change that. I'm gonna make it quite big. Let's say 260 by 390. Save changes. And then I can draw a card here. That's better. It should be bigger. The last thing you can do, which is not necessary, but you can do it, is prepare a lot of tokens. This way you can just copy them here and put them here. Why would you do that? You said, well, it's easier to have them handy. So next time red player wants to create an army, you just have to do this, and they're already created. That's handy. It's not necessary, but it's a cool option. All right, now everything is set up, and we can start playing. I hope this helped. See ya!